Hello everyone, welcome back to the as yet still unimaginatively named board games with me, Evil.Academy, where I am playing Space Empires 4X by GMT Games, which is this. There we go. And that is on the, you can see on the camera, on the table behind the box there, all laid out. I am playing with the Replicators expansion, which is this one. So this is actually the second expansion for the game. I've just received the reprint of the first one, which is Close Encounters, which is this. So this has literally just arrived like a couple of days ago, which is perfect timing because there's a few pieces from there that I needed for this playthrough, because you know, the Replicators being the second expansion, it had a few things that ideally required the first one. Yeah, so before I get into all that, just want to say, for everyone who is tuning in on Twitch, and especially everyone who is tuning in on YouTube and watching the VODs, thank you very much for watching. It's been quite nice to see that I've been getting considerably more views for this than actually what I was getting for playing the computer games. So that is definitely encouraging me to stick with this for a while, or stick with the board games for a while, and there are going to be a few more things on the way for that, but yeah, thanks a lot for watching. It's very, very appreciated. If you have comments or anything, especially if you're watching live, do let me know. There's I mean, mostly about questions or anything about the games, or anything else like that. Criticisms of the lighting, etc. I mean, I'll take them, but at the moment there's not much I can do. This is as good as it's going to be getting for now. I mean, I'm looking for some better lighting options, but they all seem to be really expensive at the moment. So I'm afraid, it's not perfect focus or perfect lights or anything. I may upgrade the camera at some point. Well, I'll definitely have a look at that. But the light, unfortunately, is what it is right now. So apologies in advance for that if that's not the standards that you might be expecting. It's definitely not sort of super pro. But I basically normally I play computer games on streams, and this is very much a kind of kludgy, throwing stuff together that I have and seeing if that works thing. So, but anyway, hopefully it's all good. It should be watchable. I mean, not going to be able to see all the minute little text and so on, but I'll try and bring it up to the camera when I can. Yeah. But anyway, that aside, any questions, etc., feel free to post them, either as comments on the YouTube or on the Twitch chat if you're here. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching. Very much appreciated. And that's done. On with the show, I guess. Recap. We didn't really get very far last time, and I don't know how far I'm going to get tonight because I'm not really convinced that I'm going to be staying up till 1 in the morning trying to finish this. So it may be that we do kind of the middle phase of the game tonight and then finish it off on Monday. First part of the game we did last, when was it? Was it on Monday? Monday, I think it was, yeah. On Monday. And we basically set up the replicators over there, and they are essentially think it's your machine intelligence that sort of consumes everything, right? So think Borg from Star Trek, think replicators, from Stargate, and so on. They're intelligent machines that convert planets to their resources that they need, and assimilate everyone and so on. And they're over on this side of the galaxy, so to speak, and I am on this side of the Yellow Empire. We're playing a relatively basic kind of game. I'm going to move this out of the way because I think it's out of focus. But we're playing a relatively basic kind of game. There's not an awful lot of fancy stuff thrown in, largely because I didn't have Close Encounters when I started it. But there are a few extra bits that aren't in the base game. We have a flagship, and now we actually do have the flagship because that was in Close Encounters. So this is the Argo, and that is my flagship. It's actually slightly worse than the stand encounter I was using, which was a BV ship, which was like I think that's a souped up carrier. But this is a Tactics B, Attack 4, Defense 1, and it's got 3 hull. But that is my unique single flagship, and if it gets destroyed, then it's never coming back. The Replicators have a flagship over here, the C-64, and that is similar, but its stats are unknown because it's the Replicators can adapt to technology. So what their stats are going to be when we encounter them, I don't know. It depends on what they've learned from us at that point. So I added a few little things from the end of the last game as well, because what I forgot to do for the Replicators was put their exploration ships down. So over here on the 3 planets that are at full, that are nearest to the deep space hexes over here, they have spawned exploration ships, and they're going to start coming in this direction now. One of them is going to start kind of tunneling through to human space over here, and the others are just going to be systematically exploring things. They're just going to go to the nearest hexes. So it's this phase of the game is going to be the exploration of the deep space hexes in the middle here, and possibly first contact, which by the very nature of this game is going to be violent, because there's no room for diplomacy or anything like that here. So we're going to be at loggerheads straight away, pretty much. I'm going to try my best to follow the rules in the AI rules for the Replicators, but I'm going to reserve the right to just kind of use them as a guideline and fudge things a bit if they're a little bit too fiddly to understand. The interesting thing was that in the Close Encounters game, and the playbook for that, there's they actually printed flowcharts in the back that were designed for the normal base games or solo Alien Empires rules, which looked very useful. And unfortunately, Replicators, for some reason, they didn't bother to do that. And otherwise, you basically have to decipher a whole page of text to try and figure out what they're going to do, and it's a little bit on the clunky side, especially when you haven't done it before. But I'm sure once you actually get used to it, it's probably not that complicated. But playing it for the first time live on a stream is there's some pressure there, and it's a bit harder to deal with. Right, so we had got to the end of the 3rd turn. So this is the or the 3rd phase. This is the production sheet for the Replicators, and this is my production sheet. I had I'm going to keep it, but I'm wondering if it's a great idea because I've built a cruiser at the end of the last phase, and I got a horrible feeling that's a bad idea because that's going to give them more research points if they encounter it. The other option is that I didn't build a cruiser, and I suppose technically, we ended at at the end of my production phase, so I could still change my mind about it. But if I don't make a cruiser, then the most advanced ship I have is a destroyer, and that gives them less research points if they encounter it, which may be a better plan. There's only 1 point in it. We're looking at the table here. So I'll show you the table. So here, if you can see that on the right here, here we have the research points required for them to build their ships. So the replicator ships at the moment are like they're undefined hulls. When they get into combat, they'll reconfigure into these ships depending on how many research points they've spent. At the moment, they haven't got any research points, which is why they're only mucking around with type zeros. But as soon as they start encountering things that will give them research points, then they'll be able to build type 2, a type 4, type 5, type 7, and so on. And these have better combat ratings as they go down. But really, I mean, the type 7 is quite bad, I guess. But these lower ones aren't horrible. They're comparable to my cruisers. And they need like 4 or 5 research points to get to those. So we'll see. We'll stick with the cruiser. Screw it. We'll stick with the cruiser. Maybe not build too many more of them or something. But because the other thing is that they're also going to learn from my technology that I have, which is my attack and my defense and my tactics and move and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's going to be interesting how that turns out. So let's immediately dive into the rulebook for a sec and see what they're looking at. Because there's what I'm wondering here, because it says every time the replicator player encounters something on their research list, the appropriate box is checked off. Each box checked off is worth 1 research point. What counts as a box on their research list? What is their research list? I'm assuming it's this top thing here, the things encountered one. Because it says every time the replicator player encounters something on their research list, and that seems to be what the research list is. So at the moment they've not met anything. Yes, I don't think all this stuff counts. This is just things that they've unlocked already. So I'm pretty sure they are still at 0 on that front. Right. So let's see what their plan is now. So we're at the start of phase 4. And generally what's going to happen with the replicators now is that it sounds like the 2 of the exploration ships are going to be systematically exploring these 2 rows as they go along. One of them is going to start, probably this one, is going to start burrowing through towards human space, and they're not going to just barge into the hexes and flip them over like we might. They all have exploration now, so they can flip. They're going to flip the hexes over, and then they're going to move into them if they're safe for them. Much like I would be doing, because I also have exploration tech now. Although all I can do with that is my flagship can use it and my cruisers can use it, which I guess is why I built them in the first place. So the replicators are going to go first because they have the initiative. So we're going to go back on turn 1 there. We're going to start phase 4 now, and we'll see where we end up. Right, so so first exploration ship that is able to move into the first row of deep space is the one that will attempt to explore towards the human player. The other 2 exploration ships will attempt to clear the first row of deep space closer to the replicators. If 2 or more exploration ships both enter the first row at the same time, closest to the centre of the board will be the one that will attempt to explore towards the human player. So it's basically this exploration ship here is going to come towards me. This one is going to probably, I mean, what I would do, because rather than have him just moving in here and then doing weird things, because he's going to come in here and then he's going to, if he goes this way, he's going to run in, you know, just get all these ones and ignore this, and they want to explore everything. So I'm wondering if I should get the exploration ship from here to meet up with them over here, and then they can split off in different directions. Either that or like this one can make it like move 1, move 2, and then because they've got a move tech of 2, you can go 1, 2 into here. Although he'll have to explore that somehow. Let's see how exploration works when you're when you have move tech, because you have to, I think you have to stop, you have to not do a double move kind of thing into the unknown hex. You have to actually stop here and then explore and then move into it. But yeah, it doesn't say anything about having to stop beforehand, so maybe they can do their first move of turn 3 and then explore and then decide what they're going to do. No, hang on. No, it doesn't, sorry. The unit may not enter a hex with a face-down unexplored system marker unless it starts its turn adjacent to it. So it's going to start the turn adjacent to it. So what's the best way they can do that? I may be overthinking this, but if they go 1, 2, and then they can scan from here, flip this over, and then move into it on the 3rd, and just not do their double move. And then this one can go 1, and then scan, and then move into here. So let's do that. And then this one's basically going to loop around like this, and this one's going to loop around like that, and this one's going to just come in that way. So darn it, I'm not I'm pretty sure I flipped all the colonies, didn't I? I must have, surely. I'm going to assume I flipped all the colonies. I probably should have checked that, but I'm pretty sure I did. at the end of the last phase. So right, so the exploration dudes here. Also, yeah, sorry. One thing I also forgot was I think I may have not been building 2 hulls on the homeworld in the first couple of turns, which I should have been doing. I think I just put 1 on there. So that's the 2 hulls on the homeworld from the 3rd phase. Right, now there's another thing with them. They're going to move in an interesting way because now they're trying to assemble a fleet. Says the hex of the ship that is closest to the exploration ship that is attempting to create a path to human space. That replicator fleet will follow that exploration ship until that path is created. So great, okay. So everyone's going to assemble in this. I'm going to use this marker. I think they're going to assemble at Delta is where that's going to be. So ships are going to start coming this way. So this guy is going to do his exploration scan of this hex and see what it is. It's a danger. It's removed because they don't need to care about that. And then he's going to move into it. And we'll call this the rendezvous point for the other fleets. This guy's going to move here. And this guy is going to move here. And this guy is going to move here. These 2 are going to move here. C-64 is going to move there. This dude is a ship as well. He's going to move there. Although I think they do have a colonization mission that overrides all that. Yeah, I think this is actually going to go on to Zeta and we'll land there and start a colony there. I believe everyone has moved for them. So that's their turn 1 stuff done. My turn 1 stuff, I will. So they're starting to edge towards me. And that exploration ship is actually going to be here real quick, like. So the tricky thing about this is, do I want to throw all of my stuff at them at once? It seems like a bad idea because then they're going to get the massive boost in tech. So I'm going to move my scout here. I'm going to move my colony ship over here. This scout I'm going to I can't move into the black hole, can I? I could risk moving him into H9 there. That seems a bit risque, but yeah, otherwise he'd have to go around. I'm going to risk moving him into here. Argo is going to scan this hex and see what that is. That is a danger. He's going to remove that and not care about it and move in there at least. What else? Scout is going to move here. Oh, is he going to move there? He's going to stay here in the nebula. Miner is going to move here and drop that off. Miner is going to pick the 5 up over there. And Cruiser is going to head off into the asteroids here. And I've got the wrong... I should have a normal one under there, not a colony one. Move him into there. And I think that's everything for the moving. Exploring, we're going to flip this over, and Scout 3 has found Kobol, and Scout 4 has found Aslak, which are... Aslak is my one remaining yellow planet that I need to find. So that's good. And Kobol, which you will be familiar with from Battlestar Galactica, is a barren world. Now the problem with a barren world is that they have aliens on them. So we're going to get some combat. That's just as well. I mean, my flagship's right there, but I don't really want to send the flagship into combat at this precise moment with this lot, because we're going to just pick 4 random counters from here. You can see that. Yeah, you can see that over there. And oops, that's visible. Gotta watch how I do this. Right, and we have a B, a C, a B, 2 B's and 2 C's. So this is essentially cruisers and battle cruiser kind of equivalent ships. I believe a 6 is actually, that's almost a dreadnought. It's more like dreadnought and battleship. So yeah, this is not a good fleet to be facing down. So Scout may be toast. Let's see how this ends up. Because if he can survive 1 round, then he might be able to run away. That's unlikely though. So to remind you how combat works, the B and the C and the E, those are the tactics rankings. A goes before B, B goes before C, and so on. So the Scout's firing last. The Bs are going to fire first, and the Cs are going to fire second. So they're going to get 4 shots in before I can even do anything. Then I can take a pot shot back if I'm still alive. Then they get another 4 shots, and then I can run away. So with over here, the Scout managed to survive against this bunch. These were 3 of the 5 2s and 1 4 1. So this fleet is considerably more powerful than the ones that were on what was this, Babbage over there. So I'm going to roll, I guess the black dice here are going to be the B's, and the red dice are going to be the C's. The black dice need 6 to hit, so they just roll the attack thing. Actually, tell a lie, I have defense, so essentially I've got 3-1 instead of 3-0, so that subtracts 1 from these attack numbers. So they're going to need 5 and 4 to hit. So black, I think I said black was the B's and orange was the C's. So they need to hit on a 5 or less and a 4 or less. So 5 or less on the black. And they've got, like, the orange one's missed, but the black one's got 4 and a 2. They have annihilated my Scout completely. RIP Scout number 2. So yeah, like as I said last time, the alien races in this that live on the barren worlds are basically super paranoid because they know they're surrounded by these coloured empires, and the red or the yellow or the green or the blue, depending on what you're playing, or the purple if you're a replicator. And they know that they're warmongering psychopaths that will open fire the moment they encounter anybody. So they arm their guns, aim their turrets up to the sky, and if anyone shows up in their airspace, they do their darndest to blow them up. And they don't go exploring either. They just sit there, turtle up, and defend against all comers. And they just did that quite effectively there. So that is my turn done. So we're going to move on to turn number 2. Let's see what they're going to do now. Explorer here is going to scan this hex. It is a black hole. They are not going to enter the black hole. They avoid those. So they don't suffer any penalties for just revealing it. Let me just double check that they will not go into them. Unless it is a planet with alien ships, a black hole, supernova, or frozen space, right? So they will not enter that hex. This exploration ship is going to head here. This one is going to actually going to scan this hex and see what's in it. And they've found asteroids, which they are going to move into. So that's them. So this is the one that's driving towards human space, so I'll put him like there. This one's moved into there already now. This guy is going to join the fleet here. These two are going to move in, so we've got 3 here. So I'm going to replace that 1 that was underneath them with a 3 here to signify that there are 3 hulls in that place. So these are 3 unconfigured type 0, well, possibly type 0 hulls. And I think that's everybody, isn't it? Because this one's settled down over here. These are moved. He tried to move. And he's not going to just go into an unknown hex, so he's actually just going to stay there, as far as I can see. So that's them done. I am now going to we're going to swap this guy for the scout, and the colony ship is going to land on Aslak. Yeah, you had a choice of Aslak or Arcturus. I guess, it's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, isn't it? Yeah, it'll just do Aslak. Maybe they're more excited about a new planet being found. So the scouts moved out into there. Argo is going to... He's got to be careful. Now that's offered a nice wall for them. It'd be really cool if that was a black hole too. That'll delay them quite a bit. I suppose Argo is going to scan. Argo's going to scan G8 actually, and see what that is. That's a danger as well, so that's removed. Is he going to move in there? He's not going to move in there. He's actually going to move back into the mineral spot there. He might hang back. Maybe we can just assemble a little scout fleet, although I think that's my only surviving scout. No, there's another one here. Alright, Miner is going to drop that off there. Miner 2 is going to go this way. Cruiser, I think, is going to come out to here. And I think we'll leave that at that. One thing I was going to do is make more miners, which I can now because I've got another 2 counters with close encounters. So I can build 2 miners. I can build 2 more bases as well. I can build 2 more decoys too. So that's a welcome improvement. Right. Now the cruiser can also explore at some point, but not now, because they've done their move. They have to explore first and then move with the exploration tech. So I think we're done with turn 2 there. Again, if you've got any questions or anything, then do pipe up. Do let me know. I will do my best to answer them. Turn 3 replicators. Well, he's still trying to get towards human space, so he's going to scan. This one's going to scan here and see what that is, and that is a mineral which they are going to move into. Now this guy is going to scan here, and this one's going to scan here, so let's do that. That is a fold in space, and that is asteroids. They're going to move into the asteroids here, so it's quite an extensive asteroid field going on over this way apparently. Now the fold in space, I believe I just saw exploration ship will not enter a fold in space. So the way these work is that if there's another fold in space, it's like the hex isn't there. So like if say this was a fold in space, the ship could go in here, but he'd immediately come out here, because it's like, you know, I mean, if I do this, let's show you. So it's like this hex isn't there, so it's like they're just going to move one into here, which would be quite a nasty surprise if that was the case. Now the other thing that we used to have, or we still have, I guess, is warp points. Do we have warp points? Or no, actually, in this game, this particular game, we don't have warp points, and it may be that warp points have been superseded by fold in space because these were added in replicators. But warp points were like this, but you had to move into their hex, and then you'd move into the other end of the warp point hex, and then you'd move out. But this is just a straight, you just go through as if there's nothing there. It was a proper classic spatial anomaly thing. So there, he isn't actually going to go in there, which is intriguing. Now we're at the third phase, or the third turn. They have moved 2, so this fleet can actually move right to where the exploration ship is. I believe that is what they are going to do. Looks like it. It says they follow the exploration ship, so they can move too. So they're going to come. This whole fleet is going to come here. So at the moment we've got 3 unconfigured hulls. We've got the flagship and we've got an exploration ship all sitting here. Interesting. Also, this ship is a bit stuck at the moment because he can't enter here. He's not going to enter here because this has already been explored. So he's going to actually have to go around here and then up this way, because the idea was that I was going to have them go like this. And I'm going to have this one just go like this. But that's blocked and that's blocked. So he's going to have to go around the other way. Okay. Intriguing. I think we may well have some contact coming up soon, because next turn they're going to be down here. And I'm going to have to decide what to do about that. So, my turn. I'm going to go grab this guy, this mineral with the miner. I'm going to grab that mineral with the miner there. Scout here is going to move up to Vega. Argo. Argo's going to scan G7 here and see what that is. That is a danger. So that's going to get removed. I was just pondering, because he was there, right? You might want to go up here and grab that mineral 10. There's 1, 2, that's now, and then 1, 2, 3. Might be able to get back there. Yeah, so he's going to actually go this way, not towards that one. Argo. I think Argo's going to hang back a little bit. And see what happens with that. I don't know if I want my cruiser to check that hex out. Because that's going to accelerate their attack on me. Although, I mean, he's basically going to go here, and unless that's a dead end, unless this is like a supernova or a black hole or something, they're going to come through here. So this is where we're going to meet the replicators, and we'll see how that goes. Because the reason I don't want any of my guys, my big guys up here, is that if the scout's just here, that's all they're going to see at first, and they'll you know, that's all they're going to have to fight with, right? They'll just get that technology, which is 1 or 2 points. Whereas if I had all of this lot here, they're going to get at least 2 or 3 points out of that, which isn't going to be great. Because also they're gonna get a point from my defense as well. Like, just the fact that I have defense 1 means that they're gonna get an extra point. So I may be being overcautious here. I don't know. Did he move? Did he go into Vega at this turn? I can't remember. The miners moved. This lot moved. I don't think he moved. Hang on, should I think? Because colony ship was here. Scout discovered this first turn. Then moved out here second turn. Oh, I think he did move. Alright. I'll assume he did move. I think actually the cruiser will explore that because they're going to come down here anyway, right? So they're going to scan this hex. Ooh, convenient. That's a black hole. What may be convenient. It's definitely going to funnel them in this direction. But yeah, he's not going to enter that hex. And I believe that's everyone. Right. Okay. End of phase 4. Okay. How are we doing over there? Looks like good. Okay. Right. Let's figure out what we're going to do. So replicators. Let's get their thing first. So they have 41 CP left over from the last time because they had a huge mineral bonanza at the beginning. They have got no more minerals this time though. And now they are, now that we're on turn 4 or phase 4, we have this starting with the 4th economic phase, do the following. Now this is all assuming they have Empire Advantage cards, like if they're fast replicators or advanced research ones or replicator capitals or whatever. But I'm not using them. I asked on Board Game Geek and nobody replied yet, so I don't know what the official solution to this is, but I'm going to assume that we're going to be doing what the green replicators or improved gunnery ones would do, which is either buy an extra hull with 8 CP, or buy a research point if they can afford it, or buy a move deck if they can afford it. So I'm going to roll a d10, which I will put here so you can see it a little better. I think. Let's have a look. Can you see that there? You can see it mostly actually. Blep. And that is a 1. Ironically, you can't see that. Oops, that is a 1. There we go. That's a bit better. So they're going to buy an extra hull, is what that is. So, so that's a second homeworld hull, which means that they produce one more there. So we've got 2 hulls on the homeworld being produced now. All the rest doesn't matter. 41 minus 8 is 33. They are going to produce a full hull at every full point or every full colony that they have, which means I'm going to have to stand up. Right, so this one is not a full colony, that's just a colonizing thing. So to differentiate this from everything else, I'm going to stick a 1 under that one, a 1 under Kappa here, a 1 under Alpha, and another 1 under Alpha, because that's the homeworld and that's producing 2 hulls. Who else? Delta and Beta are also producing. So Delta is there, Beta is here. So now we're going to get quite a lot of hull things coming our way, because they're all gonna basically come this way to this point, and then they're gonna start burrowing through here or following the path. Right, that's mildly intimidating. We'll see how this goes. So they still haven't actually encountered anything yet. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out. So I have, sorry, that's their sheet to then, which I think I'm hopefully doing correctly. And like I said, they built that second homeworld hull because that's what they rolled from their little table of what to do. So colony points, I have 30. Yeah, I think I did flip them over actually. So 36, 30, sorry, 36, 39, 40, 41. 41 now. I now have 10 more minerals as well, so I'm gonna yoink those. That's yellow. No MS pipelines, which I don't know if that's a good idea or not anyway. They're good in theory, but they cost 3 points each to make. And what they are is they are these little guys. They're merchant ships, and you can make them for 3 CP each, and they will move. You can move them out basically and establish a network of them. Like you have to make a chain of them, connecting your home world to all the planets that have colonies, and they act like highways. Ships can go faster if they move up or down a chain. They can move an extra movement point, and you also can get an extra CP from colonies that are connected to them. So they are kind of nice, but they cost time and resources to build, obviously, and you have to move them out into the right place and so on. So it may not be the best plan with the replicators breathing down our proverbial necks, so we're not going to do those. So I have 53 available. Maintenance wise, so this is the cost of the ships that I have in play that are combat ships, and the flagship I believe does not count. I will have to double check the rules. Sorry, they are on my little sheet here. Flagship, where are you? Grav, heavy infantry, dreadnought, base, cruiser. Where is it? Don't see it anyway. Alright, probably will have to look up the rule. 1 second, I'm going to dig out the Close Encounters rulebook. Well, I have it. Right, what do you say, rulebook? Flagships. Always have a 1-year-old mark underneath. Flagships are pay no maintenance. Right. Count as hull size 3 for upgrading tech. Right. Okay. I now have 3 rule books. So there's the main one. If I go in the right order, that's the main one. That's the Close Encounters one, and that's the Replicators one. Whoops, almost dropped everything. Punched. Okay. Do. Excellent. Right. I'll leave that there. Right. Where was I? So no maintenance for you. No maintenance for the miners. The scouts, though, they've got 1 each, and the cruisers have 2, and shipyards and colony ships don't have any. So 4, isn't it? So we've got 49 left to spend on things. So do I want to get more technology? I think if I do, I want to get something like a shipyard tech. Or possibly anti-replicator at some point. I'm pondering advanced construction, because that will give me fancier I think, destroyers and bases, isn't it? With level 1. Let's have a look at advanced construction, which is from the Replicators book. So advanced construction 1 gives us advanced bases, which can be, the only advantage they have really is they can be built on a MS pipeline chain, even if there's no planet there, which is really nice, but requires again building the MS pipeline. But that could be, you can imagine like having a pipeline going from here to here, and then maybe there, there, and there, and there, and then you can just go, I'm going to build a base here, and a base here, and a base here, even though there's nothing there, and that would be a good line of defense. Yeah, the only other thing that you can build with advanced construction 1 is a DGX. That is an advanced destroyer. It can be equipped with 1 more level of attack and defense than their hull size would normally allow, and have fast 2 technology if researched. And all DGX are equipped with heavy warheads, which are from close encounters, and they mean that you automatically hit on a 1 or a 2. Normally you automatically hit on a 1. The interesting thing is, does that also mean, like, if your hit roll was modified down to a 1 anyway, but not to like a 0, then you still hit on a 2? I mean, I guess so. Well, that makes that quite nice. So I'm pondering, the trouble with that is that also counts as another thing on the checklist down here, because advanced ships is a box that they encounter. I'm assuming that if they encounter just the DDX, then that would be there. It wouldn't be tick the DDX and the normal DD. But at the moment, if they met my cruiser, they would tick all of these 3 off. So they tick this, and this off. You can tick off everything to the left. If they encounter the DDX, they just tick that off. Presumably, which is actually quite interesting. Which is why I'm holding the cruiser back, because they'll get 1, 2, 3, and then they'll get 1 for the attack 1 as well. So that'd be 4. Sorry, 1 for the defense 1. That would be 4 research points, which would put them immediately up to being able to build a Type 4. If I invested in more tech, like if I wanted to buy attack 1 at this point, that would make it even worse, because then they'll be on 5, and then they'll be able to build a Type 5 ship. If I don't go above that, though, they may be okay, but of course there's a chance that they're going to be buying research points. So they can only do that once, though, unless they get more stuff. And they can also get research points from non-player aliens, so if they run into here or here, they can get more. Could still be doable. And also I have to watch out for you know, fleet size, number of ships in enemy fleet, 5, 10, 15. So I've got to try and keep my fleet size down to like 4. Otherwise I'm giving them points. So I'm wondering if I want to what I want to do there. I think I'm going to invest in some shipyard tech, because that will, if I decide that I want to build just destroyers, I mean, if they encounter one cruiser, it's too late anyway. And that, so again, I'm just thinking, I'm just being too paranoid, because that would get them 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 at the very least points, just from that, and then everything else is, you know, it doesn't add on to that. So that's a 5-1. They would be able to. A Type 4 is an E5-1. That is not. It's better at attacking than my cruiser. It's got the same defense, but it's way slower, which I could live with. I mean, with my defense one, that would also count. I mean, I've got 1 on the cruiser anyway, so they'd be rolling a 4 to hit on that normally, but I also have defense 1, so they'd be rolling a 3, so it's not horrible. I mean, I think that now I've committed to building cruisers, I'm probably going to just stick with it. The peril is that they go 1, 2, 3, 4. If they build a 5, they're on D6-2 and 2 hull points, which really precludes me from getting attack 1. So I'm going to get shipyard tech, which is 20. That gets me down to 29. Do I want anti-replicator tech at this stage? Maybe not quite. I don't think that does anything else beyond letting me torch their homeworlds or their colonies. Let's see what that does, if we can find it. Where are you? Where would you be if you were anti-replicator technology? You'd be in the replicator section, of course you would. So that means a transport can be equipped with it, which I now have the transport counters from Close Encounters, so my scouts are not going to double up for them anymore. Transport equipped with anti-replicator technology that's over a replicator colony at the colony start stage growth may eliminate that colony. Right. Okay. It might be a little premature at this stage because we haven't got to that part yet. So I have 29 points remaining. My shipyards are now level 2, so they can build 1.5 hull points per shipyard. So my 4 shipyards can now build 6 hull points. My ones over here, I think these are 1 shipyard. Yeah, it's just the only shipyard. That can build 1.5, so not much use there, but we could build another cruiser or two here. More shipyards. More miners would be nice, because there's a whole ton of resources over here that I'm just not going to be able to get to otherwise. So maybe I should build a miner for 5 at least. I could build a miner for 5, maybe a shipyard here for 6, and that leaves me with 18 points, which I can use to build a cruiser and a scout. I don't know, or a cruiser and another shipyard. That might be nice, actually. How many shipyards can I build in one turn? Unlimited number, apparently. So I could build 2 shipyards here, or split in between here and there. Because this one's a bit out of the way, but if I put that there, I could build a second, use that as a slightly more forward base. Yeah, if I build 2 shipyards, that's 12. That puts me down to 17. Then I can build 1 cruiser, which is another 12. That puts me down to 5. And then I can build 1 miner, which is 5. And that puts me down to 0. I think I'll do that. Right, so cruiser number 2. Cruiser group 2. I think it's the cat's out of the bag when it comes to cruisers, I feel. So they're going to be built here, and we're going to get another shipyard set up, which is shipyard 3, and we're going to get that 2 of those built at Tempe, and we're going to get a miner 3, which is going to be built at I knew the shipyards as well, didn't they? They're going to be built at this shipyard. I've completely forgotten again, because I keep looking it up and I keep forgetting whether you can build at a shipyard that you just built. No, you can't. You can't build at shipyards that you've just built. So that's fine. Right. Okay. So when that come next phase, that's going to be able to build 3 whole points worth of ships, which is nice. I can build like a cruiser and a destroyer or something. That one's still stuck on 1.5 though, until I upgrade my shipyards again. So that's what we're looking like now. The only other thing I need to do is upgrade the colonies to 2 things. So I believe, let me remind myself how the colony start thing worked again. So technically, this guy should be a colony start, and then he's going to flip to a 1. But this guy upgrades to a full, which is the flip side of that, I believe. There we go. This guy, he should have been a start basically, but he is going to. He was a start. He's going to turn into a 1. No, sorry. Well, I mean, let's do this in order, just to avoid confusion. Yeah, this one's gonna bump up to a 3, and then this one's gonna turn into a 1. Okay, and on my side, the 3s are gonna become full. The 1s are gonna become 3s. And the colony ship on Aslak is going to become a 1. And that's how that works. Right. Colony ship back in there. Right. That is the end of phase 4. So we go back to the beginning. So now we're on phase 5. So the replicators are now moving where? First week we formed in the hex of ships. So they're still assembling towards that, and then they're going to come in. Well, I don't know. I don't actually know what it means by. How do you know when it's formed? Yeah, that's weird. It doesn't sort of say like once it's reached 10 hulls or something that's considered formed and then it starts moving. It just goes, no, they just form in the hex of the ship that's closest to the exploration ship that is attempting to create a path to human space. Then it says that replicator fleet will follow that exploration ship until that path is created. After that path is created, that replicator fleet will either attack through that path or will defend that path. I think I'm doing it right. You know, like, because they're following it through here, but, you know, this lot are still wanting to come towards it. So let's move everyone here, basically, and we'll see how that goes. So this lot have moved. This one's staying here because this is the assembly point. And the exploration ships, this one's going to move over here. This one's going to scan this way. And I believe this one's going to scan this way, because it's got to head towards the nearest human ship. And that's the scout. So, he's going to scan over here. Again, asteroids. Huge asteroid field over here. And this guy, so this is scanned. So he's moved into that one. This is scanned, and it is, oh, it's a danger. That means it's removed. And then they're going to move, and that mineral is actually immediately absorbed. I forgot about that. So they're going to move in here. And now my lone scout in the nebula is like, what's that coming through the fog there? Oh my god, it's a replicator fleet. Well, actually he's going, oh my god, it's some kind of weird alien. Probably hostile. So, yeah, that's all of them. Now, what do I want to do? Do I want to pull the scout back, or do I want him to actually go forward and engage that lot, and then we'll see what they do? Let's leave you to last, shall we? So I'm going to bring this scout up there. And I'm going to try doing this diagonal thing just to show that I have moved them. This miner is going to go here. This cruiser is going to go here. That shipyard is going to stay exactly where it is because it's a shipyard. This miner is going to come back to Haldin and drop off the mineral. There we go. They're staying the same. So what are we going to do with this lot is the question. I guess the answer to that is, let's see what happens whenever, what would happen when they encounter a ship. So any unconverted hulls are converted to ships at the start of the battle. They also have a chance, like if they're against a lone scout, they would have a 50% chance of just destroying it outright, like the moment anything happens. And they get their technology, so they don't even attack it normally, they just go well, if a replicator fleet of 5 or more hulls is fighting against a lone scout, DG or a transport, then you just roll a die. And I believe that's actually 4 hulls. I don't think the Explorer actually counts as that. Where it says hulls, maybe it does. I don't know if an Explorer actually enters combat though. I got the impression that they are going to run away from combat. Because they have this interesting thing of self-preservation, where they look at the size of the opposing fleet and go, is that bigger than us or not? If it's bigger than us, we'll run away, otherwise we'll charge in and destroy it. But you have to consider that that thing. If one side has 25% more hulls, that side is superior and the other side is inferior. So if I was to combine all of these guys over here, I would have, well, I wouldn't bring the miner in. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hulls there, and they would have, I'm assuming the exploration ship doesn't get involved in combat, but let's have a look. They will not enter the same hex as a human ship, but otherwise they ignore the presence of human ships when making movement decisions. So they won't enter that hex. So at the moment they've got 3 6 hulls. So they outnumber me, but not by 25%. So they'd be considered equal, which means that they would probably like to attack. So they'll advance against colonies or fleets if they're equal or superior, and will retreat out of range from fleets if they're inferior. Yeah, it's an interesting little dynamic there. So at the moment they will they would probably charge in because they would go yeah, there's only one ship there. So I might pull the scout back, and then I can bring all of this lot together in one group and then move in. That might be a slightly better plan. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pull the scout back to here. And I'm going to pull the Argo over here as well. And this guy, I was going to send him up to the 10. They would preferentially move there. Yeah, I'm going to take them up to the 10 and leave them like that then. Because they're not going to go into that hex next turn. Because they prefer nebulas and asteroids. So I think that's everyone moved. So we'll move down to turn 2 and see what happens next. So the replicators, well, let's see, let's do the explorers first. So explorer's going to scan here, explorer's going to scan here. That is, ooh, that's a space wreck, which he's going to nobble. And this is a barren planet, which has, now that has alien ships on it. So let's draw some random counters. And that is a it's a B, a C, another C. So 3 C's and a B. That's interesting. So Arrakis is the one that's revealed. And that's interesting because I believe the explorer ship doesn't want to go into that hex with a planet on it, alien planet. It will not enter the hex just explored if it is a planet with alien ships. So he scanned that one. I think he's gonna have to go around, so he's gonna head over to Omega here. Now with a space wreck, that's a little interesting, because that means they're going to, I think they get a technology for that, don't they? But do they instantly absorb it? Right. They get technology from space, or research from space wrecks, but do they instantly absorb it? Yes. Interesting. Okay, so he nobbles the space wreck, and all the replicators crawl all over it and devour it and learn from it. And they've got one. They now have one research point because now they've claimed the space wreck, so they get their first research point. That's interesting. Okay. This may be interesting then. So this fleet, 1, 2, 3 are going to move into this hex. 2, 3, and then these are going to move in. So that becomes a that's 3 ships that moved in on that one, so that's going to become a 4. So that fleet has gone up to 4 hulls, which could be dangerous. So they're going to start moving into where I am, and everyone else has moved over there. This lot now, preferentially, I think they are going to move into the nebula because they like nebulae. We prefer to go into asteroid belts and nebulae. I saw that somewhere. I don't know where I saw that, but I did see that. Problem with this thing is the rules are scattered all over the place. But I'm fairly certain that's what I saw. Replicator ships fleets prefer asteroids and nebulae. If there is a choice between 2 hexes and both fulfill a movement priority equally, the replicator will choose the asteroid or nebula. So the explorer ship is going to want to move towards human space. Yeah, again, I'm not entirely sure I'm doing the fleet movement right here, but anyway, this lot are going to move here. The explorer, having got to this point, is going to well, is he going to scan that one or is he going to scan that one? He'll scan that one because it's there, and then if that's bad or not worth getting, he'll move that way. Oh, and that is bad. That's black hole. Interesting. So it really is a choke point here. Like they have to come through this way unless they want to try and break through over here. But this is a black hole field. Okay. So that's the first or the second turn. I think I'm going to have to attempt to face them now, really, aren't I? Yeah. So let's re-rotate everybody around so that we know who hasn't moved. It's a pretty nice way of doing that. Right, this guy. So let's move Miner over here towards that mineral. We'll move cruiser. Cruiser group 2 will merge with cruiser group 1, so we will have 2 cruisers here in cruiser group 1 because that was a single cruiser, which you can't see that. So yeah, that was a single cruiser that we built before. So he's gone away and become one with that group. The scout, scout's a bit late there, isn't he? He's not going to catch up to that group, but he'll move into that asteroid anyway. The miner here is going to come and pick this mineral 5 up. He's going to bring that back here. So the question now is, do I send this big fleet in to face the replicators? And I'm just slightly worried about what the flagship's going to do with that. So the flagship, so it starts at B113, tactics 1, and move 1. So movement tech will increase with each level of movement tech the replicator player buys, so it's at movement 2. Attack strength will increase with every research point that the replicator gains after the first one. Well, it's only got the first one. Defense strength will increase with every 5 research points the replicator gains. Ew. Now, at the moment, it's just a 1-0, which is crap. But the moment it engages my fleet is when I believe it's going to get anything. I think it gets it immediately. So that fleet going in is a scout, my flagship, and a cruiser, and we have defense 1 and exploration 1. I don't believe they count the exploration 1 as a thing that's encountered, but they'll tick off the scout box, they'll tick off the flagship box, and they'll tick off the cruiser box, which would have ticked all the other 2 off anyway. So that's 3, and they'll tick off that, which is 4, and they've already got this, so that's 5. So the flagships, as soon as we encounter it, the flagship reconfigures itself to become a 5-1, because it's every 5 research points, right? And apparently it's actually a 5-2, because defensive flag equals 2 when 5 is circled. I think we're going to have to do it. So we're going to send this lot in and we'll see what happens. This could be nasty. So, in fact, let's... wait. Ugh, I just figured something here. Hold on a second. That nebula is going to negate our defense. Do I want to go in there then, or do I want to hold back? Because next turn they can come to me, and then I'll have my defense. And they're going to consider me. They've got 3, 4, 5, 6, and we've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm a third as powerful, so actually I'm a superior fleet to them now. Interesting. So then they don't want to encounter me now. Ugh, that's interesting. Because if I'm more than a quarter more powerful than they are, so more than 1.5 points above them at the moment, because they're at 6, or hull points above them, then they're the inferior force now. And according to the rules of self-preservation. They're not going to attack a superior fleet. So what are they going to do? They might back off. Although it says, when considering the movement of replicator fleets, as well as evaluating fleet strength, always consider all of the replicator ships on the board at once, whether part of a fleet or not. So what? Oh, only if they're within range, basically. So if there's two fleets that are... But if that's saying if there were two fleets, like one here and one here, and these both had like 5 hull points, that individually they're inferior to my thing, but together they're equal to it at least. They'll have 10 versus my 8, and that is well, a quarter of 10 is going to be 2.5, isn't it? So yeah, so that would be in the equal level, I think. They're not we're not inferior to them, but we're equal to them, so they would attack then. But obviously that doesn't matter here because that's the only fleet around at the moment. Is how I'm going to interpret that. So they're trying to get as close to human fleets in space as possible without being crushed by a superior force. So that sounds like they want to move away from me. Now, do they want to go back up the path? Or retreat out of range? Or do they want to go like over here instead? That's interesting. They probably want to go back, I think. Because now they can move 2 hexes, because it's their... or next it'll be their turn 3. They would want to move 2 hexes back there. And then that will bring this fleet in as well on their move, so that they can now be a really big fleet. Yeah. So the question is, do I want to risk coming in here and destroying the fleet now, if I can, but I'll have my defense negated, but I'm guessing so do they? That's actually an interesting question. Do they are they affected by nebulae? Because it seems a little strange that they would prefer to move to asteroids or nebulae if they're going to be screwed by them. I don't see anything saying that they're immune to that technology, or to the nebula. That's quite intriguing. Huh. That's interesting. I wonder if there's any... Because if I do face them in the nebula, that means the flagship's going to have... No, hang on. No, I'm just talking nonsense here, isn't I? Because it doesn't cancel the defense here. It cancels the defense technology. So we'd actually be more on the sort of level pegging. So yeah, if I go in there, I'm still going to have my 4-1 and my 4-1 here. They're just not going to be 4-2, which may make a big difference. I don't know, but yeah, it might actually be better if I went in there. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, so... Oh, and hang on, when I go in there, convert all remaining hulls to the highest RP ships possible. RPs that will be gained from this battle will not count until the next player turn. Interesting. Three type 5s and one type 4. Okay, why are you doing that? Because you have 5 RPs. Okay. And that's because you've got that right. Okay. Yeah, I think it's looking quite tempting that if I just go in there now and smash them, because they have 3 hulls that they can use, and they're right now they're at 1 research point, which means they're going to be type 0s, and the flagship, because the RPs that are gained from the battle won't count until the next player turn, i.e. turn 3, and my player turn actually, so it's not even going to count for theirs, because they go before me. That means that flagship is quite puny. Right? Because the flagship now is at 113, and it's only got 1 research point at the moment from that space wreck, so it's at 2-1, so 2 attack, 1 defense, and 3 hull. I think I'm going to go in there, screw it, like, I've agonised over this long enough. So let's put the battle here. Well, let's see if we can actually, because if we can smash, if we can get rid of the flagship, that would be really good. So I'm going to put this over here. We've got the Argo and the Scout, and is that visible? That's visible, isn't it? So we're going to have the battle over here represented by that. Right, so hull points and stuff. These guys have, this has 3 hull points. We've got 2 cruisers on this one, which we're going to, I guess, just show like this, I suppose. I could put my other cruiser here, and this guy only has the 1 hull point. Actually, I suppose he's got 1. how do we do this again? Oh yeah, sorry, I don't do it like that, do I? Because he has 3 hull points anyway. There's 2 of these. I'm just going to put damage counters from over here next to them. So this is Cruiser 1, this is Cruiser 2, this is the Argo, and this is the Scout. Now this lot, there's 3 hulls. They have 1 research point to speak of. So they are all type 0s, which are the lowest types. And they are E20s. So they are equivalent, they're actually worse than my Scout. So they're pretty lame. So I could smash them. This will be interesting. So first, they've encountered the Scout, the Flag, and the Cruiser. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 ships here, so it's not the fleet thing. We have Defense 1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4 more research points. So that's going to get them up to 5 in the next player turn. So it's not even during this combat. So we've got a good chance of attacking them. So the ship that goes first, the B, yeah, they've got the tactics of 1, haven't they? I believe the flagship, yeah, the flagship has tactics of 1. So he actually goes ahead of the Argo. He only has a 1 attack though. He's probably going to try and destroy the weaker ship. So he's going to aim at the Scout there. So he's going to roll. Now at the moment they only have 1 research point at the moment. So he's got an attack of 2 and a defense of 1. So he's going to roll a 2 or less to hit me. And he rolls a 6. So he actually doesn't hit the Scout. I'm pretty sure I'm doing this right. If anyone's watching and knows otherwise, do let me know. But this is how it sounds like it's supposed to work. So now my guys can go. So the Argo can fire, my 2 cruisers can fire, and the Scouts. The Scouts are level with the Type 0s, and the Type 0s are defending, so I believe that means they get the the ties go to the defender, I think. Let me double check that. 5.2. Firing order. Defenders group fires first. Yeah. Oh wait, hang on. If combat is taking place in a system with asteroids or a nebula, the class of all ships is E, regardless of what's printed on the counters. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Rewind. So the defense is 0. Defense technology level is 0. But it's all E. Oh, that's why they liked that. So they all go first because they're the defender. Ooh. Okay. Alright, well, the flagship's done its attack. But the Type 0s, one of them's going to target the Scout, and the others are going to target, well, see if the Scout survives. 8, that's not a hit, so the next Type 0 is going to target the Scout. 3 is not a hit, and a 5 is not a hit. So nobody hit. Now all of my ships are E's as well. So I'm essentially just firing with 3, 4. Yeah, just roll 4 dice basically. Alright, I suppose let's do the scout. The scout is at 3 attack. What's he gonna fire at? I want to try and get that flagship. Yeah, he's gonna fire at the flagship. So we gotta do 3 damage on it in total, right? Oh, that's a 2. A 2 hits the flagship. Good shot, Scout. And then the other guys are going to roll on the flagship too. So if they get a 4, because it's got 0 defense at the moment, because it had those. Remember those 5. It hasn't got to the 5 yet, because the research points haven't been gained from the battle until the next turn, right? So if I can get 2 4s or less, I've taken out that flagship. Come on, baby. Yes! 3 and 3 and a 2. Perfect hit. So in fact, I mean, technically, I could have attacked the scout with the extra one, but you know what? They all concentrated their fire on that. So boom, C-64 is kaput. It is exploderized. Well, that's working out well. Next turn, they get to. Now, what are they going to do? Are they going to retreat? Would they retreat? Does a human have 3 times as many hulls in the battle? The replicator flagship will always retreat if it has 2 damage. Well, didn't get a chance to do that. Right. They don't have 3 times as many hulls in the battle, do they? Or do they? Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And they've got 3. So not quite. Yeah, so they're not going to retreat. So they're going to fire. They might change their mind. Well, let's see. Among the ships of the smallest hull size, they will fire at ships of the lowest defense strength. Amongst the ships of the lowest defense strength will fire at the ships of the highest attack strength, and the ship with the highest attack strength will fire at the ships that not yet fire those ships that have. What the hell? Lowest defense strength. Well, the lowest defense strength is 0, so they're going to fire at the scout. So first type 0 is going to fire at scout and misses. Second one's going to fire at scout, and that's a 2. That hits, so scout is destroyed. And the third one is going to fire at a cruiser and misses. Right. They blew up our scout. Curses. Right, lads, we're going to let rip on the scouts. So we've got 3 dice coming in at 4s. And that is going to be 1 hit. So we take out 1 scout. 1 type 0, I mean. Good. Next, so now we've got 7 hull, and they've got 2 hull. That's more than 3 times. So they're going to retreat. and they will. I think they stay configured until they go back to a colony, I believe. So hooray! Our first battle with the Replicators, we are victorious, and we managed to take out their flagship, which is even better. Now the problem is that that stopped the flagship from being a big threat, because if later on it would have had 5-2 to attack, but now it's dead basically, and they're not going to be able to create another flagship. The thing now though is that, you know, this battle's over. Next player turn, if I was to like chase after them and they didn't move, these are now at 5 research points, although I have to check if they revert back to their holes. I don't know if they do. I don't know if they do revert back to Uncle Hotels. I think they only revert back when they go to a colony. Sorry, moving through the rules here. It's not the fastest game in the world, I know, but we're all learning at the same time. Alright, starting forces, flagships, colony depletion, attacking replicated colonies, blah blah blah, combat, blah 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 blah. Reset points, construction points, production. Where are you talking about your actual ships, matey? Oh, here we go, productions, blah blah blah. Da da da. Da da da. Okay. Countering technology, blah 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 blah. Construction points, blah 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 blah. Doesn't say in there. Doesn't say in the solitaire rules. I thought I saw something saying that they they have to turn they can only turn back into unrevealed hulls if they go through a replicated colony. Interesting. So they're stuck like that until they can get back to here, which they may well do. And if they're also retreating, then do they retreat at their full move? Shifted to an adjacent hex. Right. Okay, that's fine. Alright. So that was quite fruitful. Right, so turn 3. Well, what are we going to do there? Ah, crap. I actually think these two wouldn't have gone this way because they went out from here, right? 1, 2. They would have gone here because they can colonize these 2 planets. So I'm going to retroactively do that so that they're on Yoda and Gamma, because they're going to want that, right? Because that will make them more ships. So that fleet is now going to move up to here 2 spaces because they got moved 2. I think this fleet's going to move back to... They always want to do that, but they could join... Well, they're not going to join with this fleet because they're always going to be 2 Type Zeros now. I think they're going to move back here, and then they're going to want to go back to Delta and then turn into unrevealed hulls again, so they'll become unconfigured. The exploration ships are... this guy's trying to find a way through, so he's going to scan here. This one's going to scan here, and this one's going to scan here. So this hex is a nebula. This hex is a mineral. So they're going to advance into that and totally grab that. They're going to advance into the nebula here, and finally they are on this row. And the this one is going to see what's in here, and that's a danger which he's just removed, and he's going to move over there. Okay. Get that out of the way. Sorry, get all these out over there. Dropping stuff. Right, so that's over there. That's over there. That's over there. There's my damage counters. That's a little bit better. All right. I think that's everybody moved. So we've got a big fleet coming our way now. Now that one's got 4. And now they have 5 research points. They can make 2 Type 5s, which are a D6 and a defense 2 and hull size 2. So they're kind of like cruisers, but a bit better. Well, they're definitely more attacky. Harder to destroy. But if I keep my fleet like that, and maybe try and reinforce it with stuff, that might be interesting. As long as I don't get any better, they're okay. If they get to the point of being able to build a Type 7, which requires 7 research points, and they're on 5 at the moment, that would be a C62. that would be a little painful. I'm definitely going to have to throw large numbers of cruisers at them or something. And again, I'm leery of getting the attack 1 tech, because that will give them another research point, and I don't really want to do that. So the question now for me is, do I want to move in here, and at least I'll get my defense tech back because I'll be out of the nebula, and I'll still be able to go before they do at this point, because they're on tactics D, or they're on level D, which means I will attack first. Yeah, could have got moved to myself actually last time. That would be quite useful. Now the interesting thing is that I'm going to have this constant barrage of ships coming in here, because these are all going to produce hulls, right? And they're all going to come over here, and they're all going to try and come down this corridor. So that's a bit interesting, because sooner or later I think, you know, I'm going to have attrition working against me there, unless I can find a way to just push through. And I think it might be just from building lots of cruisers and just throwing myself through there, or I can try and skirt around, but I'm going to have to deal with this lot. Or just go around through the nebula here, I suppose. Could be a possibility, because they're obligingly exploring everything for me. Huh. Tricky. Because they've all moved now. So do I want to go through there, or do I want to try and build my ships up? Okay, let's have a look. I think that's everyone. Right. So this miner is going to go here and grab that. This miner is going to come back to Vega. This miner is going to come back to Vega with their minerals. And that's everybody, apart from my fleet. Oh, apart from this guy as well. He's going to move up here for what that's worth. Next turn, they're going to have 4 here. And I'm still going to have 7 here, because I've got 2 cruisers. So I'm still superior. So they're still going to back away from me. Are they not? Despite the fact that they can turn into 2 type 5s. Yeah, they've still got 4 though, haven't they? Interesting. I would have 5 next turn. Because they're still going to have to mass into me there, aren't they? Yeah. I think it might be worth. Well, if that can rejoin them at some point, I'll have a 6, and then I'll have a 7. I'm gonna keep them in the nebula, and I'm gonna move. Sorry, I moved him already, haven't I? Yeah, I'm going to keep them in the nebula. I'm not going to press on. What is that a wise move? No, you know what? I'm gonna press on because I need to be out of this so that I've got my defense tech back and my tactics back. Or my tactic rating, my B and C back. So that's what I'm gonna do. So we are now in the what's its phase, the production phase, turn 5. I have 15. I got 20 minerals now, which I'm going to just leave there for now because I'm going to do the replicators first. Actually, I'll write that down. Hang on. Write it down on mine. Right. So I've got my 20 minerals. That's all good. That's a yellow, that's a yellow, there's a white one there, what's that doing there? I think that's everyone, yeah. Right, so the replicators are, what are they doing? They've got 20 more minerals though, which is intriguing. So that gives them some possibilities. So they had 33 from last turn, but now they've got another 20. So that gives them 53 points. And now we're going to roll on the table to see what they want to do in terms of spending those CPs. So 1 to 4 they get an extra hull, 5 to 8 they buy a research point, and 9 to 10 they buy a move deck. 5, that is a research point. They have bought a research point. So now they are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because of the defense thing. Right. That's interesting. So they've just bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6. So they're at 6 research points, which lets them build Type 5, which is the D62 hull size 2. Don't really want to let them go higher than that because that is going to be a problem then, because then they'll get tactics. Also, I'm just noticing the flagship has a minimum of 1 attack and 1 defense strength. I think I got a 3-2-2 though, didn't I? So that was enough to kill it even with that. So that I'm good with that. Right. So they bought the research point, which is 30. Now the interesting thing about that is that now they're on 23, and so without any more minerals they can't afford to do that. So that's good. Okay, so that's them, and then they're going to build hulls on their homeworlds. And I think what I'm going to do is just not use the little counters. So on their, not on their homeworld, on their full colonies. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 6 hulls coming my way now. That ain't good. And at the end of this phase, we'll do all their stuff first. That's going to a full. So Omega is now fully developed, but that doesn't get the hull building on it. this is up to a 3, and these are up to 1 now. Okay, that's that. So yeah, that they build the ships first, and then they upgrade colonies. Me now. So now we've got to plan this out very carefully, which is going to be interesting. Yeah. So I got 0 carryover from last turn. 0 carryover from last turn. Colony points now, I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 50, 53, 56, 57. And another 20, so that's really good. I've got 77. Maintenance, I've got two cruisers and 1 what do you call it, scout. So that's 5. So I've got 72 to spend, which is really good. Now, got to be very careful, because they're almost at. Now they're starting to get powerful. And my initial successes may not last long. Do I want to go head to head with them here? I think. Oh, nuts. Do they get? They don't get technology from Move, do they? They don't get research from Move. Ships, technologies, and other things not on the sheet yield no research points. Interesting. So I can upgrade my move, which I think I would like to do. But that's not on the research list there. Tactics are. They don't get any for Tactics 1. So I could get Tactics 1 without them getting anything. Which might be nice, because then that at least gets me equal to them. On that front. And I can afford it. I'm definitely going to get move 1. So that is 20 points. So that's down to 52. I think I want to get anti-replicator now. That'll let me build transports that I can use to sterilize their worlds if I get to that point. And since I can afford it, I might as well. NTR 10, so that's 30. Sorry, I've got 42 left then after that. So 42. I'm going to get move 1, or move 2, and I'm going to get anti-replicator for 10. So how many cruisers can I build right now? This one I can build 1 at. This one I can build 3 at. So I could theoretically build 4 cruisers. That would be 48 though. I could build 3 cruisers, which would be 36. That leaves me with 6 left, which I can use to build a shipyard with, which I could build that at Haldin, although that's really out of the way, or I could just build another one here, which will get this up to 4.5, which would let me build 2 cruisers there next time. Yeah, I'll build another shipyard. So that is now 42, that's 0, so that's what I'm doing here. So I've got move 1, I've got anti-replicator tech, I've got 3 cruisers and 1 shipyard. So the shipyard I'm going to build on Tempe, however that's pronounced. So that's now a 3 shipyard. I'm going to build 1 cruiser here at the other 2 shipyards, so that's going to be definitely enough stuff there to build a cruiser. Or I could build, what do I want to do here? I could build them all here, but then I go 1, so I have to move 1, 2, and then 3 out there. Assuming this doesn't move, but these are possibly going to be engaging them before then. Yeah, that's a mess, isn't it? I mean, either way, they're not going to get there till the 3rd turn anyhow. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter really. I think I'm going to actually build them all here, because that's got 6. So I'm going to build my cruiser group at the big shipyards here, and we've upgraded that already. So now everyone's got move 2, so that means that I, like them, like the replicators, I get to move 1 hex on turn 1, 1 hex on turn 2, and then 2 on turn 3. So that's me. And my colonies will now beef up. So these become 5s. Alsac becomes a 3. Oh, yeah, forgot about Arcturus, didn't I? Yeah, it would be nice to have a colony ship going that way, wouldn't it? Oh well, I didn't have enough to do anything with that. That remains unplundered, which is interesting, because I haven't even got terraforming tech to get that one either. So right, replicators, start of turn 6 or phase 6. 10:43. We can get through another phase at least, because now it's starting to get interesting, isn't it? Because what are they going to do? Are they still wanting to make a fleet at that point now? Or are they wanting to do something else? Form fleets. There isn't a separate path to human space. yeah, the combat rules for, or the flowchart type thing for what they do is really fuzzy. Let's do the easy stuff first. They could, because this guy could explore here and possibly chart a new route into human space, or he's going to do that one. In fact, he's probably going to want to do this one. This one's going to explore here, and this one's going to explore here. Because they're going methodical like. So let's do the exploration first. So scanning that one. There's another black hole. Wow, there's a whole ton of black holes, so he's not going in that direction. Like, this one's been really unlucky. He's just been finding dead ends everywhere. This one, scanning this hex. Again, asteroids. What is up with this? It's this massive asteroid field here, which he's going to happily move into. And he is actually going to scan this one. And that is a nebula. Which is interesting because that is something he can move into. Yeah, we could move into. Does he want to move into it though? Exploration ship movement. Yeah, so that's the one he would have gone to. So yeah, he's going to move into that. We could always scan that way. But there's another path now, which is interesting. There's another path to human space now. Interesting. So that's the choke point here. But that's got the semi-large fleet in there. Now, that's the explorers done. The other guys are going to move there, move there, move there. He's already there. He's going to move there, and he's going to move there. They're going to move back here, and then they're going to become two hulls. And they're actually going to merge with this lot and become three hulls. That's what they're going to do. Put that there for now. So now they've combined and unconfigured themselves into three hulls. Everyone else has moved towards this point. Now what's Chummy here going to do? So there's 4 hulls there, and I've got 7 here. That is definitely more than 25% with them. So I think he's going to retreat back that way, away from the superior threat. See, it says that the fleets are separate all the time. The only time they'll combine is to attack in concert that turn, which is interesting. So they don't combine. Huh. Seems weird. Because it would make sense that they would, wouldn't it? I mean, given the choice, I'm sure this lot would want to go back here and recombine with them, and now you've got a 10, whatever it is, what, 3. We've got a 7-hole thing there that's going to become 8, 9. Well, there's going to be at least a 9-hole thing, which is going to be quite terrifying. Oh boy. We need to... See, I've got all my fleet here, and I'm thinking, like, I wonder if it's going to be better to try and peel off and maybe come over this way or around and see if we can start taking out some of these colonies, because that's what's making all this stuff, right? Because they're going to be able to churn out like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 next turn, and then 9 next turn, and it's just going to be, or 2 turns later, it's going to be 9 hulls just screaming towards a point. Yeah, and they're also saying they should form 1 to 3 fleets, but like they don't really give me any reason why they wouldn't just form 1 fleet. All the way over this building can be travel over it does not come with import hexes. Yeah, so the fleet formation thing is really confusing me. So I'm just going to kind of wing it. At the moment, that's where they want to go, because that's the closest to the route that's through human space. They could go over here, or there could be a different marker over that way, because, oh, that's not quite got there yet, though, is it? Yeah, so this is the only way through at the moment, isn't it? Because everywhere else is unexplored. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking ahead here anyway, because I've moved everyone there. So it's my turn. I'll worry about that on their turn, I think. It's my turn. So what am I going to do? So I don't know if I should pull back. Or maybe take out that exploration ship. Because that's going to start making paths, isn't it? Now remember, they're going to move 2 hexes at the end of the, or in the 3rd phase, so I don't want to be too close to them. Huh. Maybe that scout can try and take that out. As long as I'm not here or here at the end of the phase, I think I'm going to be okay, because these guys, like, he's either going to move here or he's going to move there, or something weird's going to happen like that, but that will still put him there, and then he'll go over here or here on the 3rd. So I could I could move that there, and then both of them in here, and then that's not going to get to me. Although this guy's going to probably go over there, isn't he? Unless he's going to be blocked by whatever terrain that is. These guys then, let's just start over here. Like, there's minerals right here that I can grab, which they're cheerfully going to get. I think Scout's going to go there. The cruisers and the Argo are going to go here. They should be able to pounce on those exploration ships there. Again, this is a trap, because if he moves in there, somebody is going to be able to jump me, which you know, so I don't want to kill that exploration ship yet. So they've moved over there. This guy is going to come back over here with his mineral, or their mineral. Cruiser is going to come out there, I think. Yeah. Alright, I believe that's everything. I don't think anyone's explored anything, because the cruisers and Argo can't, because they moved over there. And that wouldn't be a great idea anyhow. So, turn 2. What are we going to do up here? So, Explorer, Explorer. Interesting. You're lost in space. I believe... No, that doesn't move in there, sorry. Yeah, so you're lost in space, so you're just going to ignore that, because you're not lost in space. So you are going to move there, sorry, it's not affected by that. This one is mineral, so he's going to jump on that and grab that. And this dude is going to... ignore the presence of human ships, so he's actually going to go into there. Well, he's going to look in here. And that is another mineral. Wow, lucky. They are another 20, that's not good. Okay, so the explorers have moved. So these two are going to move into here. He's going to move there. They're going to move here. I mean, he's still outnumbered, isn't he? Like, I think, honestly, this fleet's going to move into here and combine. That, why wouldn't they? So at the moment we have 7, 8, 9. So I guess the reason they won't combine is that my counters only go up to 6. So sure, let's have a 2 fleets then that are a 6 and a 3. Okay, in this location, because that's what that is. Okay, so we got 4 and a 3 and 2 more. So that is now, essentially, it's a big fleet that's at 9 unconfigured hull points, which is quite scary, because that's going to be 9 hulls worth of Type 5. So that's 4 Type 5s and a Type 4. So it's a D6 2. That's 4 D6 2s with 2 hull size, so attack 6, 2 defense, and 1 E5-1 with 1 hull size. Ugh, that's ugly. That's what that fleet's gonna be. They get a tech from defense as well. So if I bumped up my ships, that would just make them even worse. Because then they'll be type 7s, and they're C622s with tactics 1, which is really not good. So I have to stay at this level. I just have to throw more, but not in fleet sizes of more than 5 or more. Ugh. Man, okay, this is interesting. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do this, but I can't do nothing really because they're just going to keep massing. And this all depends as well on this fleet location thing, because if they do find another path, which I think they've actually found now, because this is a path, right? They can go through here. That's another place they can visit, isn't it? Now the thing with that, yeah, because I'm just doing air exploration now, isn't it? Thing with that, there's a separate explored path. It's a path that an existing ship can take that goes all the way from its location to human space, can be travelled by replicator ships, and does not come within 4 hexes of the current replicator fleet. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's not. Is that within? Within 4 is 3 or less, right? I know. A path that's 5 hexes away is not. There's not a separate explored path. So, 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, technically, there isn't a path that can do that because all of this is within 4. So, like, if I put this here, it's not a separate thing according to that, but that just makes no sense. I think I would put a marker there. Like, screw that. That seems to make sense for them, right? Because even over here, even if this was open, like that wouldn't be 4 away either. Which, so what? They're always just going to go that way? I mean, they found another way through here. I'm thinking they're going to want to take this. So like this clump of ships can go this way, and this lot can still go down the middle. It would make more sense, wouldn't it? So I'm going to put another marker there for an assembly point. I mean, obviously this lot is still going to pull into that one, but next time this lot can go in here, and then this lot can come that way. Right. So I think well, the explorers have moved, and I think we just moved everyone else, didn't we, there, to make the 9 fleet. I'm kind of thinking ahead of myself, which is confusing me, because we're not at that stage yet. So turn 2 of me. So right now, turn 3. Now, I'm going to watch this because that's asteroids. They could. I think they have to stop there though, don't they? They can't do their 2 move through there. Which means I could take these out. And then get away. But then would they catch me? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't want to be greedy, and maybe I just want to take that guy out with my ships. What does attack and defense? You can't have more than your hull value. I know that, but move isn't affected by that. I don't believe, right? Yeah, blah 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 blah. Movement, procedure. Do. Yeah, entering a hex with asteroids or nebula ends that unit's movement regardless. And it can't enter it unless it starts its turn adjacent to it. So I mean, the scout has to stop here basically if he moves in there. He could go around, but he'll you know, go from here to here, like 1, 2, or 1, and that's it. These guys will go in here. In fact, actually, this is the second one, isn't it? So third, they're going to move there. Yeah. So he can't do that quite yet anyway. So he's going to have to go into here anyway. And then third turn, he can pop out wherever they end up. Or maybe he can kind of suicide himself on that one, I don't know, and just sort of take him out and then get jumped on by the massive war fleet. Which would be interesting because then that would reveal what they are. Could be a possibility. Alright, so they're going to move here. And they're going to have a fight at some point. Every movement first and then combat. Yeah, so we're going to move into there. They're moved into there. He's going to come back to Bendon. Drop that off. They're both going to come back to Vega and drop those off. Cruiser is going to come. He might move over here actually, because then he'll just jump up there. I mean, it doesn't make any difference, does it? Alright, no, he'll move. They'll move up here. So combat is happening in G5 with my cruisers and the Argo firing on a hapless Replicator explorer ship. They both have attack 4, they both go first, so the explorer has no defense. 2, 1 and a 3, they've annihilated it. They've got 3 hits on it. Kaboom. Explorer down. 1 explorer away. Where is my explorers? Are you explorers? What are you? You're explorers. Okay. 1 explorer down. Cool. I think that's it for them. Turn 3. That's it. Everything is still working. Good. Turn 3 for the replicators. So that explorer now is a bit stumped because he can't. He can't really get over here. Like there's nothing to explore here, and he'll basically have to go 1, 2, and then you can't go into that 1, 3, 4, 5, all the way around basically to get up here. it would make more sense logically for him to try and want to go that way. Because he's on autopilot to explore things, right? So they're gonna go there. And this explorer is going to explore this. Or scan it anyway. And it's a supernova. It's a supernova. That is an impenetrable hex. Nothing can go in or out of that one. That's interesting. So there's some ugly terrain around there. Very. So they can't explore over here because they've moved. I can explore that way, but I'm not sure if I want to. Okay. Meanwhile, this is going to move there. Now, I'm kind of thinking that this fleet's going to want to move out. It's assembled, essentially. Like, there's these two guys still to come, but are they going to wait for them? I'm feeling that they probably are going to move out. So I'm going to move this lot out over here. And I'm going to move this lot both into there. He can only move one anyway because of that. I think he's moved one into the nebula. But this is a 2 hull now on Delta. And this is our 9 hull mega fleet here. I'm feeling a little outnumbered. In fact, they did say that they prefer asteroids and nebulae, so I wonder if they'd actually move into there. I think maybe they would actually move into there, wouldn't they? So that negates any attack technology that I have, but I don't have any. Right. What am I going to do now then? So they've all moved. My ships. So I'm doing this, trying to do a thing where I rotate my ships when I've moved them, so that I know that they're done. Although, like, instinctively I want to line everything up with this anyway, right? Because that's the straight hex lines. So what to do? So I can't enter those asteroid hexes, or I can't enter that one from there. That one I can enter and try and take that exploration ship out if I want. That would get me perilously close to this fleet, though. I kind of want to make my fleet a bit bigger. So I think I may pull back. I mean, I guess what I could do is scan that and then decide where to move. Sure, alright, I'll scan that with Argo or the cruiser there. And that is a Centauri. That is a barren planet, which is another alien race world thing. So Centauri. So that's interesting. That's also a dead end type place. I guess I've revealed what the things are, so I'm going to just go like that, and like that, and sure, like that. That is a... that's wacky. That's a 3 Bs and a C on that one. So that's a nasty fleet of alien defenders on that one. So far, the only D I found is on Babbage over there. Everywhere else has C's and B's. I suppose I could do that, couldn't I? And then that'll make it all visible. So they're not really pathways into human space, unless they want a fight. There is a way through, sort of going over here though, and then through the asteroids. But that's a way I can get through as well. So what I'm going to do is... Alright, what am I going to do? First, I'm going to move and grab this mineral with my miner. This guy's just going to stay there because there's no point in mining anything anymore, and I might just scupper those anyway. Or scuttle them, whatever the word is. It scupper or scuttle? I think all of this is we're going to accumulate in H3. I think that's the spot we want to go to. So I'm going to move everyone back here. I don't need to keep track of what's what here, because they've all moved. So they're going to move 2 where they can, or just 1 out of the nebula. This is now 5. So I'm going to combine the three cruisers that we had before from carrier group 2 with the 2 from the other one, our first survivors from the skirmish with the first replicator fleet. So this is now 5 cruisers, the Argo, and 1 scout, which gives us a total of 14 hull against their 9. So that's good. Also at the moment, everybody here has an extra defense. So the Argo is a 4-2, the cruisers are a 4-2, and the scout is a 3-1. So that's good. So yeah. The miners there are not going to do anything. There is the option, were I to blow CP on it, there is the option of getting terraforming tech. And if I get terraforming 1, as we know already, we can terraform barren planets. But now there's a terraforming 2 that lets us terraform nebulas. Or not terraform them, but extract gas from them. But I think actually I need a CP connected to them, not a CP, MS pipeline connected to them to do that as well. Which I don't have. I may blow some money to build that though, but yeah, I don't know. At the moment, that's everyone moved. So I'm gonna, we're at like, what, 11:20. It's about 3 hours so far. I think what I will do is finish the economic phase here, and then that's it for this stream, and then we'll carry on Monday. So we'll get the big fights going then between our big fleets. But of course they're going to be making more ships over that way. So yeah, and now they're going to be splitting into 2 fleets too. Yeah. All right. Well, replicators. Yeah, because I'm done basically on that one. I've moved all my ships. So the replicators just grabbed another 20 minerals. Lucky them. Them and their fancy instant mineral absorption. So they've got 23 from last turn. They've got another 20 from this turn. That gets them to 43. What are they going to do with their economic research thing? They are going to roll a 1d10. Where's the other dice? And on the 1 to 4 they get an extra hull. They can afford another research point. That would be not good. On a 5 to 8. And a 9 to 10 they'll buy a move deck. 3. Oh, extra hull. Excellent. They don't get another research point. That is exactly what I wanted. Okay, cool. So, hulls that they get. Yeah, because I would have put them on 7 if they got that, and that would meant that they get the Type 7 ships. So, hull, they're going to buy an extra hull on Alpha. They're going to get another hull on Delta, another on Beta, another on Theta, another on Epsilon, another on Kappa, and another on Omega. And then after that, Zeta is going to go up to full, and Yoda and Gamma are going to flip to 3s. So now this lot are going to want to come to this point, and these guys are going to want to come to this point, which is going to make it slightly less horrible. My assumption with the accumulating of the fleets is that they're going to accumulate here for the first 2 turns, and then they're going to leave on the 3rd one. Otherwise, they're just going to keep accumulating and they'll never leave, right? And they don't give me any kind of number of, if they get to X number of hulls, then they can move on, right? Well, I didn't see any of that anywhere anyway. So, so that's them done, right? Yeah, that's them done. So they bought 8, so that's put them down to, oops. They've got 35 left over after they bought their extra hull. And they're teetering on the edge of being able to build really nasty ships. Interesting thing. So, okay. The Type 5 ship they can build at 5 research points is a D6-2 with 2 hull size. Type 9 ship they can build with 9 RPs is a D6-1 with 1 hull size. So that's less tough, but still got the high attack. And then above 9 they go up to a B8-3, which is really nasty. Sorry, this is what I'm looking at. So yeah, at the moment they're at the 5 level, and if they start getting up to this higher level, then we're going to be in trouble. So what's my builds then? So I've got none left over. I've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 55, 60, 60. I've got 60 colony points. I have grand total of 15 minerals. So I've got 75 to spend, which is quite nice. They're all yellow. That's really good. Now, I do have increased maintenance because I have 10 cruiser, 11 for the scout. I've got 11 maintenance now. So that's 64. I actually have less than I had before. 64 remaining. So, that anti-replicator tech, I need to get transports out in that battle group, because they need to be there to sterilize the planets if I go for them. And there is this back route that I can go down, right? Assuming I can avoid that big fleet. Because if I can get through there, I mean, I'm not going to go through the alien worlds here, but if I can get through that without getting destroyed by them, that's a back door into this area, and then I can start taking out these side colonies and work my way to Alpha, and then maybe deal with that. But they're not going to take that line down, are they? Whoa, this could get ugly. Okay, well, tech-wise, what am I going to do? If I get an extra move... What's the extra move? Move 3 is going to be 25 points. Extra shipyard is going to be 25 points. So I'd be burning 50 points. But yeah, I'd essentially just build one more cruiser after that. But the move 3 would let me move 2 hexes in the second turn and 2 hexes in the third turn, which could be quite nice. Because like he would move 1 there, I would move 1 here, then I'd move, then I'd move, I wouldn't move 2, would I? I'd move 1. Now the interesting thing about these alien ships is that they're all one hull, so they're tough. They would go before I do, but I just need 4 hits on them and they're dead. So I could go through them, but there's a pretty high chance though that they're going to take out a couple of my ships, I think. Maybe. Or maybe the scout. Because they've got pretty good defense and really good offense. I mean, effectively, they've got the 6-2 and I've got 4-2 because of my defense. Well, they got 6-2 and 5-2, and I've got 4-2. So they're rolling 3s and 4s to hit me, but I'm rolling 2s to hit them. Yeah, that seems a bit less likely, doesn't it? So maybe going around the asteroids is the only way, but if I go here and then he goes here on his first turn, I go there on my first turn. For the second turn, I go in here, but I can't go further than that because of the fact that it's asteroids. And then he'll catch me there. And that would be not great. Although, 9:15 is 2 and a bit, isn't it? 2 1/3 or something. Is it 2 1/3? No, it's not 2 1/3. 2 1/4? Yeah, 2 1/4 I think, isn't it? Yes, 2 1/4. Why did I want to know that? So if I'm 25% tougher than 9 plus 2 and a quarter, then 11.25. What have I got here? I've got 10. Yeah, so I'm still the superior fleet, so he's not going to want to engage me. Interesting. At the moment. But he can accumulate some more people. Can he not? Whether he'd want to at this stage, I don't know. I mean, it's moot point because I'm going to decide that on Monday and I can read up the rules a bit more. But yeah, it's interesting because theoretically he's got, was it 2 here? 3, 4 that can be added to that to make 13. Which will be more like equal to mine because I've got 14 on mine. Then you may be able to actually increase that one more by adding this guy if he joins in when they move. So it's going to be a fairly equal match in terms of hull sizes by the time they get to me. Yeah. Yeah, that's an interesting conundrum there, isn't it? We're going to have 2 really big fleets, essentially 15-point fleets or 15 hull point fleets smashing into each other, probably in asteroids, which is not good because that turns everybody into an E and negates attack tech, which I don't have, but it's the fact that it turns everyone into an E that is the problem, because depending on who's there first, the defender wins, right? So if I got to the asteroids first and he moved into me, I would be the defender, so ties would go to my, in my way in terms of the tactics, so I would go first. Wow. Okay. That's too heavy to think about right now. But I'm thinking about it because I want to try and plan what I need to do. I've still got 64 points. I don't think the move 2 is going to be terribly useful, frankly, because there's asteroids here and nebulae, and I'm not going to be in a situation where I can even use that. Because, even if I'm not accounting for the fleet here, I move 1, I move, move 1 in turn 1, move another 1 in turn 2 because I had to enter the asteroids and I had to stay there. I had to stop when I enter it. So that the move 2 is wasted there. And then after that, I can use my turn 3 move 2 hexes to go here. And then I'm going 1 hex. And then I have to go another hex, so the move 2 is wasted again. And then 3 out here or something. So it's not worth getting the move, I don't think. Is it worth getting a shipyard to build more stuff? I think that might be. Because then each shipyard can build 2 hull points, which will be a lot nicer. So then I can build a cruiser out here. And I can build 3 cruisers there. And I can build 4 cruisers there. That's quite a nice selection, really. Or I could build a horde of destroyers or whatever, right? I mean, that might be good. Now, the other issue, though... how many ships have I got? I've got 5, haven't I? 6, 7. So that's a fleet size of more than 1, right? Or more than 5. Which is going to be enough to give him another research point, which will bump him up to 7, which means he's got the C622s. I mean, he's going to be building D622, so that's not great. And they've got Tactics 1 as well. Maybe I should have Tactics as well. That's 15, but at least that means that they're not going to immediately outrank me on that, because I feel that's going to be inevitable. So if I spent on Tactics and Shipyard, that would give me 40, so it's 24 points left. I can build 2 cruisers. Yeah. What was I going to do? Shipyard and Tactics. So SY times 1 is that's 20, another 25. Tac times 1, that's 15. So that is, I can't add up, can I? Oh no, that is 40, yeah. So that's 24 left over. And if I build 2 more cruisers, I can do that. I could build a whole bunch of MS pipelines, but is that worthwhile? Thinking cruisers are going to be better. 24. So that's 0. That's 0. All right. And then I'm going to make another cruiser group. That's 2 cruisers. So my shipyards are now up to 2 hulls each. So this guy, that can build 1 cruiser. This guy can build up to 3 cruisers. So I'm just going to put these here. And then we'll leave it there, I guess. Oh yeah, I gotta flip this guy up to a 5 as well, so he's done. So all my colonies are full except for Arcturus, which is strangely abandoned for some reason. I suppose I could have built a colony ship there, but I didn't, because I'm feeling that cruisers are going to be more useful at the moment. I think it's only because I've got a whole bunch of minerals. So this is where I am at the moment. If you can see that, that is better. That's probably better. So at the end of phase 6, I've just built my 2 cruisers, upgraded my shipyards and tactics as well in preparation for their inevitable 7 research points. I mean, the other thing I can do, I guess, is split the fleet. If I could split this fleet somehow, then that would be interesting, wouldn't it? See, there's another way through. So what I was going to do is, like, if I could split it into, like, not 5, just 4 ships maximum. Because I'd put like 4 cruisers and the Argo, and I mean the Scout is pretty much irrelevant really, but I can move the Scout away or just move them in a different direction or something. But if I could do 3 cruisers and 3 cruisers and the Argo, let's say, can I do that? 2 cruisers and the Argo. That's 2 fleets of less than 5, so they're not going to get the research point for that, which will not push them above 7. Or what I was thinking, interestingly, is I could move all of these guys and attack Babbage, because this lot are the D's and the C's, which are going to be less painful. And then if I survive all this, we can have a look at this one and hope that it's something we can get through, and then I can skirt around this one. That might be a good idea. Might be something to consider for next time. Also, let's get this out there. Yeah, it's interesting that... What, are they all different? Yeah, they're all different, aren't they? So we got 3 C's and a D. We got 3 B's and a C. We got 2 B's and 2 C's, and we have 3 C's and a B. So yeah, all the alien worlds are different. Yeah, so that might be actually a decent plan if we go around this way, and hope that this is something that we do not have to, you know, there's not like blocked or another alien planet. Yeah, and then for next time I can sort of see if I can figure out what's going on with the fleet points and how that all works, because that seems really weird. I mean, it's kind of working. And we're going to have a heck of a fight next session, I'm pretty sure. Possibly. Because the thing now, though, is that they're... maybe this is what they meant by don't combine fleets, because they've got a 9 there. Maybe it is better to say it's actually a separate, whatever, like a separate 6 and a 3, and then that might make them a bit more flexible. I don't know. Because I think if I split into 2 fleets, they're gonna want to be combined into a bigger fleet. The replicators are gonna want to combine into a bigger fleet to attack me anyway, because they want superiority. So, all right, whatever. I'm gonna worry about that over the weekend, and see if I can decipher how that's gonna work. But I'm gonna leave it there for now. So we've had some encounters. It's pretty interesting. It'd be actually quite interesting to play against a human replicator opponent, because having them making more intelligent decisions than just a sort of automata, ironically, in this case, but having a person making the decisions behind the replicators would be pretty interesting. Yeah, they're quite an interesting little addition to the game, really. Quite challenging to deal with, because I'm as scared of them as they are of me at the moment. But as soon as they get the numbers, they're not going to be scared of me anymore. And the technology thing, you know, we're trying not to give them research points, is really interesting. That creates a really intriguing dynamic to the game. So, yeah, interesting stuff. There are possibilities. And of course, if I mean, all my eggs are in, or most of my eggs are in one basket, apart from the newly minted Cruiser Fleet 2 there. But if that big fleet over here gets smashed, I'm in trouble. Which is why I'm thinking, like, I don't want to go and face that head on, because all it's going to do is get replenished, right? I've got to try and go around here and maybe try and skirt it, although I think he'll catch me eventually. Yeah, blah. Alright, anyway, I'm running rings around myself trying to figure this out at the moment, and I'm not even doing this tonight. So I'm going to leave it there. Once again, thank you for watching. It's a slow, you know, I mean, I'm playing this quite slow. I mean, it's a long game normally, but it probably shouldn't take like 9 or whatever, 8 or 9 hours. But it's a solo game. I'm trying to figure it out at the same time, and I'm going through all the decisions and thoughts here as well. So hopefully it's it's not sort of super exciting viewing, I guess, but it's if you're trying to get an idea for the thought processes that go into playing these games, then hopefully it's been useful. And I think, I mean, part of the reason I'm doing these board game things is that I don't see an awful lot of these, or I haven't found an awful lot of playthroughs of these. I don't think I've actually seen any Replicator playthroughs at all. Anyway, there's always like unboxing videos and blah blah blah, which I don't see the point of at all. I mean, reviews are fine, but unboxing is like, what is that? You're just opening up the box and showing people what's in it. Like, that's doesn't really tell me that much that I couldn't glean from looking at pictures on Board Game Geek or whatever. But there's people who like them. I mean, I just don't see the point in it myself. But actual playthroughs of these games just seem not that common. And I guess they're not that common on Twitch because, like I said, I'm getting more viewers from playing these than I've ever done from playing computer games. So I guess it's, someone's finding them useful, I hope. All of that is a rather long-winded way of saying again that I definitely appreciate people watching these, and I hope they're useful in some way, even if I am being quite slow about it. But we'll carry on this on Monday, and I don't know if we'll finish it then. Maybe we will. If we finish it then I was looking at doing Warfighter World War II on Friday, which is a World War II squad type game, which I've played a few games of. Played 2 solo games of it so far, and 1 co-op 2-player game of it yesterday, which was quite interesting. And it's been a week of board games. I played, did this on Monday, set up Warfighter on Tuesday, played it solo on Wednesday, played it co-op on Thursday, and then I've done this on Friday night. So it's just been a week of board games. But yeah, Warfighter is quite an interesting one. That can definitely get done in one session. So I'll see if I can do that on Friday. If I have if I haven't finished, or if I have finished this by then. Otherwise, I'll be carrying on with this on Friday. So we'll see. But I think I'll stick to the Monday and Friday schedule right now. I stream on Monday whether I'm overflowing a game or not. Alright, well, I will actually leave there for now. So, thanks everyone for watching. Thank you on YouTube as well. I do appreciate you folks watching there too. And we'll be back on Monday with, if not the conclusion to this, then more progression on it anyway. Right, that's that. I'm signing off. I have been Evil Dr. Ganymede. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Ta-ta!